Armour & Sons originated in 1920. It's been a journey over 104 years now. We are regenerating components here, and we are doing it with latest technology with a highly skilled work set. Armour & Sons regenerate mechanical componentry for heavy industry. Being in Western Australia, it's mainly the mining industry, but also other industries including oil and gas, power generation, defence. Once mechanical components have a natural life cycle from new, we'll take that component and do the inspection, testing and the remachining of that componentry to take it back to what we classify as a 0-hour status, so that when it goes back into operation again, it lasts just as long. It's approximately an 85% environmental saving to regenerate it versus manufacturing new. At any one time, there's hundreds of components right through our facility that are having this specialised machining processes carried out to bring it back to that 0-hour status. It's very complex. There's a lot of components scheduled through a lot of different machined sections, through a lot of different work centres. Many of those components need to be sequenced through a number of machines in order. So for us to be able to schedule all that in our heads was becoming extremely difficult. Collaborating with Core IoT, with this smart shop floor system, and understanding where our challenges are was where it all kicked off. Having this smart shop floor system now in there and being able to now schedule the jobs going through the shop in a systemised fashion, and everybody internally can see that. But then the beauty of us being able to turn that on for our customer to securely see their own jobs going through the shop and when they're going to get them back at our facility. So they can see whether it's in inspection stage, machining stage, when it's completed, when it's ready for dispatch, and when it's delivered back to their premises.
This is our EAP, our operating system. Ideally, we didn't want to interrupt that at all. Everything gets dragged out of that. That's our single source of truth for everything. In here is a job configuration. So all the information from these dumps into here, and then from here, it gets scheduled through. This one here is the roster. So we lock in for current and what's going forwards, the leave, sick leave, who's away for whatever time, their start times, their finish times. Here's the schedule for all the machines, all the staff, what they've done, what they've got scheduled to be done. Within here, we can manually change different things in the schedule. We can also enter in scheduled downtime for maintenance as well. So in this view here, you can actually go to the operator, so you can see what each operator's doing. The red ones are complete, yellow's paused, and all the brown ones are the ones actually active. And then in this one here, you can see this is the machine work center view. So this is our internal chat, where we've got photos, our PDF for the order that's come in, even chats backwards and forwards within staff about this particular job. In here, you can click on any particular job, bring up the component, and also the different operations like these two here, where you can see one process is done, waiting for the next process, and even the customers can see this as well. So in here, we can actually break down and nut down any one particular machine on any one particular day and boil it right down. So say we want to have a look at this day, you can see all the uptime, downtime, all the different operations within this machine. So in here, you can break down to the top 4 operational losses to see where you need to put your most efforts to try and make things better and get rid of the losses of the company. So in here, these are the sensors that are on the machines. So we can see live what vibrations are coming from what machine. So we can predict any maintenance coming for any machine.
So the system allows us for better visibility than what we had in the past. So now we have that ability to partially dispatch goods based on the components being closed out after the operations are finished. We can see them here, and then we know they're ready for dispatch. Part of our internal process is ensuring that we capture sign off of the section cards, the completion of the component, how the consignment's wrapped and strapped, and then any weights and consignment details on that consignment as well. and then that gets put into the system. The customer has visibility of that.
With the flow of work coming into Armour and Sons, generally it's mechanical componentry that's coming out of any related industry, being mining or defence, power generation. The components get taken apart and then get brought into our facility. So here's the arrival side of it, where they come into the facility, we'll identify it, we'll raise the job, take photographs of the components and enter it into our system. Then the smart shop floor then will actually read that, hey, we've got a new job into the system, and be able to then schedule that directly. So once the components enter our facility are identified, job raised, they'll come into the inspection area here. And this is where we carry out the inspections on the components, and then collate all the information, document the sizes, take any relevant photographs of any worn, fretted areas that need refurbishment, and then that's all related back to the customer, and they're able to make informed decisions then from our recommendations on to proceed to overhaul, to take these components like this one back to a 0 hour status, so it's ready to go back into its application, and this one being mining, and being able to then perform another full life of operation. This is our cylinder head department. So this is where we set up the one-piece flow in the lean terminology. So each of the work centres have its own buffer zones. So as the heads feed through from workstation to workstation, for the individual processes to be carried out, from what we call work centre 3, where it may be valve guides, thread repairs, injector tube fitting, that type of thing, then through into the different work processes in pressure testing, facing the heads, cutting seats, and having that one piece flow as it goes through the facility. So being able to have control of the flow of that components for the different customers and the different cylinder heads enables them to be able to schedule it through the system. And we know then exactly, almost to the hour, when it's going to come off the line at the end of the day, and then go up through into our dispatch department and back to the customer. So here's where we have the cylinder block department. So we have the different machining centres set up here, and we did a lot of work on this department in particular with our lean processes to establish in and out zones for each of the work centres, having material handlers putting the blocks in. So the machinists are actually operating on the machines and keeping those spindles moving. So at the end of the day, that's what the customers pay us for, to remachine these components back to that 0 hour status. So having the ability now to have the cylinder blocks staged through each of these work centres, we can see the visual display up on the screens. So we know which operator is at what work centre. We've got the flow of each individual block going through each of those work centres, so the material handlers can prepare it, and then we can then schedule it through the machines and out the other side. So that's really enabled us to increase our capacity and having true visibility on what components in what order going through each of the machines, and the customers can also see their own components in what stage of the process it's at as well.
So with the Andon Lights, this one's currently red at the moment because this machine stopped and it's getting cleaned. Where down the back, the other machine, that one's green. That shows that machine's running at the moment. And if they ever need assistance, they'll click a button on their tablet, those lights will turn purple. So these are traffic lights in the workshop. We can turn them red, as you can see this one is. Purely for when heavy items come down this walkway, they slightly vibrate the floor, which affects the operator. Now when he's finished doing his fine machining, he'll flick it over to green so the heavy traffic can come through again. So the safety light we have down in the distance, that's more of a safety light. So as they start spraying down the back, that one goes red, showing that people can't go in that room while that's red.
So here's where we're manufacturing the sleeves and inserts that are an important part of the repair process in remanufacturing and regenerating the components. So as with cylinder blocks, exhaust manifolds, different housings, they have sleeves fitted. So here we're actually manufacturing the sleeves through the CNC machine, and the beauty with this side of things is we're actually able to schedule the material going through these machines
and actually quantify the production of the sleeves in a real lean, just-in-time management. So that as the sleeves are coming off, the turn time on these sleeves actually going into the other machines, part of that process enables us to have a more easier flow and a more just-on-time delivery for the remanufacture of these items.
At any one time, we've got up to 300 to 500 different components going through the shop. We've got 40 to 50 staff, and there's over 8,000 odd operations. With the complexity of what we do in any one particular component that goes through, there's so many different variables to it. With the growth of the company, it was just going to get more and more noise, so we needed something to try and help us maintain and make that a lot easier for what we're doing. Going back with what we used to do, we used to go into each department and look at everything coming in, what's going on with that, who's going to do it, when, what parts we need. Now, with the algorithm within Smart Shop Floor, it calculates it all for us. Tells us what parts we need, when the ETA due date is, and schedules it all for us without us having to go in there with a team leader and working that out manually.
Armour & Sons currently employ approximately 70 staff, all here at this one facility. We've got a lot of long-term 20, even 30-year plus employees in the business that's got a huge amount of skills, a lot of knowledge. We can invest in tooling, machinery, technology, but at the end of the day, if we don't have the highly skilled people in place, the business it has no longevity.
With our staff, and to have a good culture throughout the place, we have a nominate your own start time. Management wise, that's quite hard. Through Smart Shop Floor, that can track it for us. They nominate their start time anywhere between certain time periods. Smart Shop Floor logs it for us. We can see it live. If someone's not at the workshop today, their name comes up so all the team leaders can see who they've got, when they've got it, who's on holidays, who's not here for whatever reason, and then they can manage their areas that way. With the Smart Shop Floor, we can schedule maintenance, especially during non-peak times. We can schedule maintenance in, block out certain times where we have downtime maintenance, even standard 5S maintenance. There is a pre-start that comes up on certain machines to the point where they check certain maintenance and safety things that come up first to make sure everything's maintained and serviceable before they actually start their machine. Before Smart Shop Floor, I pretty much had a phone glued to my ear, even to the point where I trialled one of those headpieces, which drove me absolutely insane. Constantly taking calls from customers, checking my message bank, letting customers know where their jobs were up to, what was going on, when they were getting back. Now, all the customers can see their stuff live. They can actually log on within their portal. They can see all the processes, all the components. They can see the photos. They can see all the documentation. They can see their delivery date and when it's going to come. So the system schedules everything. The system does everything for me. Customers can see everything when we need parts. It's not getting scheduled when we don't have parts. It's only going to get scheduled when the parts are here. So everything happens nice and smoothly now.
So that now has really moved the business forward in us being able to concentrate more on the things we do here and not the busy scheduling side of things, which really has lowered the stress level in the business. And we're actually always searching for the next best thing to be able to introduce into the business. It's going to keep us relevant. It's going to keep us at the forefront of technology globally to support our customer base. We've had a lot of input from a lot of different people. Core IoT with their technology and their solutions, and then being able to understand the challenge we have in manufacturing with the number of staff, the number of components, the number of machining centres, the sequencing of components going through the shop. Being able to now bring that together and have that on a tool that we can read and know that it's accurate, and our customers are reading that same information, is where we've landed, and I'm so proud of what's been established.